Well, hi there again, and welcome back to InsideTracks.co.uk, the website and channel that tries to help you to trade smarter. Please do subscribe to the channel if you like what you're hearing, and you'll get all the future videos as they come out. Like it if you do, and comment if you think that you can help me to improve. So what we're going to try and address today is that there are three very common trading mistakes that people make, and I'll go through those three mistakes, and I'll try and help you to identify them, and give you some solutions to try and help you to avoid them. So we'll start off with the first one. The first mistake that a lot of traders make is that they have a fear of missing out, on a trade that's going to make them money, and therefore they have to jump on the bandwagon. And the issue happens that when you jump on the bandwagon, the trade is likely to go wrong, and as such, you wind up with large and growing losing positions that can then affect you psychologically from getting yourself out of the situation. Sometimes this can be caused by people looking at chat rooms or tipsters and saying, "Oh God, he thinks this is going to win. I better be on it. I better get on it quick, quick, quick." And you see a price dropping in the marketplace, and you think, "Yep, everybody's going for it." You jump in there, and then the price immediately evaporates, and you're left with a losing position. So fear of missing out, this is the trade that's going to make you money, this is the trade that's going to make your day, please don't do it. Identify early on, so make your decisions. The solution is to make your decisions early regarding the best opportunities of the day, and stick to them. If you feel you're going to miss out on an opportunity, then do not get yourself in a deep. Put small amounts of money onto a position that you think may well come true, but do not go into it with your normal gusto. I think it's really important that there are trades out there that you will just miss, and you'll just have to accept that maybe you would have done it, maybe you could have done it, but by jumping in to each one, you can actually wind up with extremely poor decision making, not based on your research, not based on your head, but based on your heart and a fear of missing out. So that's the first mistake. Make your decisions early. Don't jump on everything. Accept the fact that you're going to miss good trades, but stick to the ones that you have decided are going to be the ones that you're going to focus on. And the rationale behind those should stick with your normal strategy. The second one, and a common psychological error, is getting even. So what does that mean? Well, a lot of people believe that they have to make money every day. And when they hit a couple of bad trades and they're not making money, they will escalate their trading positions in order to try and get themselves back to making a profit on the day. And that can lead to, again, exacerbating the losses that you've made during the day, and actually putting yourself into an even worse position. I've even seen people go completely mad and get themselves into poor position for the day, and then decide that they're going to increase their stakes and increase their liabilities in order to get back to an even position for the day. And that is nonsense, because all you do is you put yourself at more risk of going even further into the red. It can sometimes work, of course it can, but more often than not it doesn't. So the solution to trying to get even is to focus on making money in the long term, except that some days you will end up in the red. I have never seen a chart from any trader that only goes up. It does go up, but it also comes down during certain days, and will then recover. And so poor trading days are often followed by good trading days. Sometimes you can hit a losing streak, but then sometimes you can hit a winning streak. But don't exacerbate your situation when you have a losing day by upping your stakes and trying to get even. Third main and very, very common trading mistake, if you actually look up gambler's fallacy on Google, there is a definition. The gambler's fallacy is quite simple, and that is, I'll give you the example. Now, we know that tossing a coin is a 50-50 exercise with a coin that is fair. So when you toss a coin 10 times, you would expect 5 heads and 5 tails. That would be the sort of thing you would expect. Now, of course, there is some variation in that. It can be 6 and 4 and 7 and 3 and so on and so forth. But if we did an infinite number of coin tosses, then half would be heads and half would be tails. That's the probability. Now, the gambler's fallacy is that if I am tossing a coin and I hit 5 heads in a row, that somehow either the coin is, and this is the gambler's fallacy, this is why it's really weird, that the number of heads for those 10 coin tosses have been reached, and therefore we must have a tail at some point. Equally, you see some people will almost go, oh, well, it must be a not a fair coin, a coin that will come up heads often, and actually bet that the next one's going to be heads because the previous 5 were. So the gambler's fallacy, you see it also on a roulette table, hot numbers and cold numbers. Because the number's hot, it's got to come up again. Because the number's cold, it might well come up because it hasn't come up. And so on. So you get people who will say that the previous events will affect the next outcome. Of course, if I'm tossing a coin 10 times and the first 5 are heads, the chance of the next one being a head is in fact no greater and no less than 50-50. It's still 50-50, so long as the coin is fair. So I've heard someone say, I'm a frequent flyer. I've got to now crash sooner rather than later. Your chances of getting onto a plane and crashing were the same when you started your frequent flying as it does after 1,000 flights. It's exactly the same likelihood. So the gambler's fallacy is that somehow the next event in an event which is covered by probability is somehow changed depending on what the previous outcomes were. So the solution is eliminate that emotion, the emotion that comes with that, and treat every event independently of any previous outcomes. Don't get fooled into saying because there's been 5 heads, there either must be another head because it's because that's the likely outcome because there's 5 heads, or that the number of heads have been had and therefore it must be a tail and the likelihood of a tail coming up is increased. It's not. It's exactly the same. So that's your 3 common mistakes from any kind of trading. Please recognize them, and when you do see yourself getting yourself into any of those 3 situations, step back and take a deep breath. Either stop doing what you're doing and try and come back to it fresh. So take, say, 10 minutes off the computer. Don't come back. Take the day off. I mean, if you see yourself losing, the best thing in the world, as far as I'm concerned, is to say, okay, something's going on today. I'm going to now step out for the day, and I'm going to come back to this fresh. I'm going to accept the losses I've had. I'm not going to try and chase them, and I'm going to come back fresh to it, and that is often the best way. But anyway, I hope that you will see some of these things that you might well have even experienced, and now you know you're not alone. Everybody does it, and the solution is to try and keep the emotion out of trading and keep your rational head on at all times. So I hope this helps, and I hope it helps you trading. And if you like what you've heard, please do subscribe and like or comment if you've got something to say. And I hope it helps you in your trading and helps you make money. Cheers then. See you the next time.